podcast. And today I am really pleased to have with me on the line Andy Cabasso. Andy is a digital marketer, a lawyer, and the co founder of Postaga, which is an all in one platform for link building and digital PR outreach. Andy, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jeff. Excited to be here.
So I'm really excited to have this conversation today because one of the things I was really keen on is that when I asked you for what your one big tip is, you gave me like five, right? And I was like, dude, no, we're doing one today,
Too
right?
much?
And yeah, a little bit too much. But what's cool about it is that the fact that you have these different experiences, as a digital marketer and a lawyer. I mean, that's a fierce adversary,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So I want to, first of all, I'd like to take a few minutes to, for you to tell people, who you are and, what makes you awesome.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Time to get self-deprecating, I guess, which is the opposite of what you're looking for. No. Yeah, my background, basically, I years ago went to law school and became a lawyer, and found myself actually getting into what started out as a side hustle of doing digital marketing, because I found that the law firms that I was applying to work at had bad websites and marketing online. So a partner and I started a marketing agency focusing specifically on this legal law firm vertical, and it became very successful. We grew and then eventually got acquired by a larger company in the legal industry space. And kind of from running the agency and my experiences in digital marketing, I saw this kind of other opportunity with Postaga, because a challenge that we were running into was doing link building and doing outreach. There are a lot of disparate tools and processes out there. And so we wanted to build something that would help marketing agencies more seamlessly, quickly, and scalably do link building and outreach for their customers. And as we launched in May of last year on Product Hunt, and it was number one for the day and was very successful. And kind of from the feedback we got, there wasn't just this need for doing easy outreach for like building links and promoting your blog content, but also for digital PR, for getting your business press coverage on other blogs, for getting featured on podcasts as a guest, and things, and also like doing like cold sales outreach. So our platform has become really versatile, and it's been great so far. That's in a nutshell.
What's interesting about that is that you basically scratched your own itch, right? You found that, you latched onto something. And it's like, geez, I really need some help in this one particular area. And then it just ballooned, right?
Well, I found that like I can be more invested in solving this problem, especially if I have the problem myself. If I'm selfishly trying to solve my own problem, I'm going to go at it harder and more passionately. And that kind of was the same thing with kind of starting my marketing agency. Is I didn't like the options out there, and I really found myself wanting to help other people to avoid some of the problems that I saw in terms of like just bad marketing out there.
Bad marketing sucks, right? Yeah. I mean, what happens is that, you look at these different companies and you're like, geez, like I could do so much better for them. Right. But then
Yeah.
you really need to,
Well,
they need to be in the mindset that, that they want the help, that's
mhm.
first of all. And second of all, like you really need to deliver, right? You really need to deliver like on the promise that you're putting out there.
Yeah, and that was actually a lesson that I learned early on, was that I'd cold reach out to some of these firms, be like, hey, your website isn't so great, I could fix it and make it better. And they're like, I don't think I really need a website anyway. I don't really care too much about it. And I could work to try and convince them that they might really need a website, because their clients are going to look them up online. Even if you're not like doing online advertising or anything like that, people are going to check you up online and want to make sure that you have a real business presence, because like your website is your online storefront basically. And so some people didn't care about that so much, especially like if you've been in practice for 50 years and you're an older lawyer towards the end of your career and you're just not as interested in it. So it was definitely a learning experience to really better understand my customers' mindset, to not just project what I thought they would want on them.
You know what's interesting is that I illustrated this for my kids a couple of I don't know about a month ago. Basically, we were driving down a main street over here, and my girls said that they wanted sushi. Right. So, okay, great. Find us a sushi restaurant. So they said, like, okay, there's a sushi restaurant, I don't know, a mile up, but then I just passed one, like literally out of the corner of my eye. And I'm like, wait a second. Well, what about this one? Like, well, I don't know. It didn't show up on the map.
Right.
And, and that was it. Right.
But
End of discussion.
it's there. It's still like, it's not on the map, but it still exists.
Exactly. And what happens is that, as digital marketers, we really want to help them. Like, dude, come on, like I would have eaten there that night if you would have taken the time. But also selling to non-believers, that's that's an uphill battle. That's really something that you can't, you almost can't teach them. Right. And so it's like, all right, you don't want to do it. No, okay, fine. Call me when you're ready.
I mean, it would be. I mean, it would be much easier if your value prop was immediately understood by anyone that you pitched it to, and they're like, "Yeah, I definitely need that. You are fixing this problem that I identify and I'm willing to pay for." That's the answer, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Let's talk a little bit about ways that you can grow your startup, right? So at Postaga, you needed to create a system, and like you needed to onboard people and also to service those clients, right? And this actually segues nicely into like your one big tip, which is how to deliver amazing customer service, right?
So
And
actually, I think we need a segue, because my next big tip is actually how to schedule podcast interviews when they are not mowing lawns next door.
something that happens, like, what are you going to do? That's the beauty of live, and it's all good. It's all good.
I swear, this always happens. I'm like, you know what? All right, we'll do it in the middle of the day or early or later, but they always seem to be mowing lawns at exactly the time that I am on a podcast. That's fine.
I get it, man. I get it. Let's talk about customer service. One of the like when I first worked with my first technology company, I was dumped into the customer service branch, where I had to answer the phones and I had to answer the emails and all that. And at first I was thinking, like, Jesus sucks, like, why are you sentencing me to purgatory here, right? And basically the customer service manager, my manager at the time, he came at it from a totally different perspective. He's like, what are you talking about? We're the lifeblood of the company. We are the face of how this company works. People will judge us by the service that this, as you say, lowly department is doing. So he's like, do me a favor, please change your attitude. Right. And that was a big wake up call. And the amazing thing was, he was right. He was absolutely right, because customer service is not this basic expense center in your company. When done correctly, it can be the profit center. It can be the difference of alienating a customer or making them your biggest fan. How did you achieve that with Postaga?
So especially for like an early stage company or a younger company or a smaller company in a larger space, I kind of identified that I was seeing that there were some companies that other friends and colleagues and customers would always talk about, and they wouldn't be the biggest companies in the space, but they would really just marvel at the service that they were getting. That they're like, all right, I'm a small customer. I'm not spending millions of dollars a year with this particular company, but they are answering all my questions. They are quick and responsive, and they are helping me get the best use out of this product. And I am going to love this product forever. I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to tell all my friends about it. So, like, not only is good customer service important for things like retention and keeping your customers, but it's also beneficial for marketing, because your happiest customers are going to be evangelists and spread the word. And that's definitely been something that I've noticed in particular. Like, I think there are I like to think of customer service in particular as like having like two facets to it. There's like offensive and defensive. Like offensive being the preventative stuff that you do ahead of time before you are getting people reaching out to you for like help desk support or things like that. That includes things like having help docs, having good onboarding videos and documentation, and like email onboarding and things like that. That stuff helps your customers get acquainted with your product and know how to use it, so that they hopefully won't need to reach out to you because they understand completely how to use the product. Then there is like what I call defensive customer service, which is someone is reaching out to you because they can't do something exactly right or don't know and have a problem and want you to help them solve it. And so like that's you answering live chat or email tickets or phone support or what have you. And the really way to kind of excel with that is in particularly the first, I think the easiest thing to do is be quickly responsive. I have stopped using software that I was paying thousands of dollars for because the service was so spotty and terrible. And it was unfortunately common with like I've seen like a lot of larger companies, and like if like there are situations where I'm thinking like if I am not locked into this software, if it's not a critical part of my business, I'm going to switch away from it because there are things that I need a response. I'm getting held up, and it's just like I'm willing to pay more for better response and better communication. And I've done that, and I know that plenty of people feel similarly out there. So, but like for you as a company, you may not be the biggest company in your space. You may be incredibly small, but delivering on customer service is something that you can relatively easily do by answering support tickets quickly and being helpful and coming at it from the perspective of, I want to help resolve this issue that you have, will be much more likely to get you to have the help not only solve this person's problem, but get them to be an evangelist and share your product with other people.
What's interesting about what you're saying is that it sounds like there are two facets. There are two parts to this, right? One is the human aspect, right? So you have to train your team, get them on the corporate culture bandwagon that,
Mm-hmm.
this is what we stand for and this is how this is how we're going to project that image.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second part is, how are you going to deliver that? So are you going to use, something like Zendesk, or FreshBooks or, however it is,
Sure.
one of these major players for helping you manage and deliver that stellar customer service.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel is more important? The human aspect or the technical aspect? Like how do you divide that up?
So as far as like support software and systems go, there are a lot of options out there. And I wouldn't necessarily say like I have my preferences. Like for example, I like Help Scout for tickets. I like Chatlio for live chat. But there are plenty of options out there. There's Zendesk. There are other apps that like integrate with your CRMs and your tools, and they're all fine so long as your team can easily use them, easily get notified when you have new tickets, and help you to be quickly responsive to them. That's really the important thing. So really most important is having having a knowledge base for your team and having standard operating procedures for how things are supposed to go, so that your team knows if we have a help ticket, the first available person will respond to it in a certain way. So like I for example, like typically like no matter what the ticket is, I like to start out saying, hey, person's name, acknowledging who they are. Thank you for reaching out. Just to acknowledge appreciation for them reaching out, then addressing their question, coming at it from the perspective of, I want to help solve this for you. I want to help you move forward. So making sure that making sure things like you're not defensive, making sure that, even if people are upset or complaining, you try and you bring the temperature down and come at it from a perspective of being helpful, that it goes a really long way. And that can help you calm down customers that might be upset with anything for any reason, and shift the mindset from someone who's upset to getting them to help them resolve the issue and be happy that they spoke with you.
Amazing, amazing stuff. Let me ask you though, how do you measure then the success of a customer service team? Like, how
Mhm.
do you figure out like whether this was money better spent to hiring maybe a higher caliber customer support rep,
Mhm.
or also in terms
Mhm.
of being able to put a dollar amount on the customer that you just saved or the customer that you just lost? Like, how do you figure that part out?
So I think it can be tricky because, like, for example, like someone might deal with a different volume of tickets, and you just might have drawn a cut today. You might have just drawn a particular customer who is upset, who is a higher value customer who is spending more with you, but just like for really any position at a company, it's important to have KPIs and metrics so you can evaluate any employee's performance to see if they're doing as expected or exceeding expectations for the role. And so for customer service reps, I know that it's generally typical that your performance metrics are based on number of tickets that you handled, like how responsive you, like kind of numbers in terms of how quick you are to respond to your tickets, how many tickets have been closed out, as well as like customer satisfaction. Sometimes you have in your support software or your live chat or software or anything like that, like how is our service, thumbs up or thumbs down, and that can give you like other helpful information about your reps.
Amazing, amazing stuff. Thank you so much for sharing that. Andy, can you please let everyone know how they can learn more about your company and how they can reach out to you if they want to learn more directly?
Sure. I'm pretty easy to find on the internet. My website is postaga.com, postaga.com. Over here is my LinkedIn. It's linkedin.com/in/Andrew Cabasso, because I think Andrew Cabasso sounds a bit more, I guess, formal than Andy Cabasso. On Twitter, I'm Andy Cabasso. And I also have a Facebook group called Grow Together SEO. That's all about link building, outreach, digital marketing, SEO, and all of that. It's a great community, and recommend that you check that out too.
Amazing stuff. Andy, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I love that you brought the energy and really appreciate you talking about, some of the ins and outs and how you make customer service a really great thing at your company.
Of
Thank you
course.
for coming today.
Yeah. Thanks. Happy to share. And I hope that you've all enjoyed this as well as the music of the lawnmowers next door.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks.